All the best. Well, guess what? It's time to bring it on.
Okay.
We're going to start with Roger, who writes in. He says, in Luke 4:6, Satan claims, I will give you all their authority and splendor. It has been given to me, and I can give it to anyone I want to. In John 19:11, Jesus says, you would have no power over me if it were not given to you from above. And John 3:27 says, a person can receive only what is given them from heaven. Can you help me untangle all this?
Well, first of all, the devil's speaking, and the devil isn't necessarily telling the truth. He's a father of lies. He said, it's all been given to me, but in a sense, the kingdoms of this world, he's known as the prince of the power of the air. So he has a certain authority. Jesus said, all authority in heaven and earth is given unto me. So Jesus has it all. So the devil's a liar, for starters. How do you help untangle it? Jesus is the way, the truth. Satan is a liar. And so he makes claims, and Jesus is saying to Pontius Pilate, you would have no power unless it was given to you. Well, that's true. It's all got to be given by the Father, and he is the one who's in charge of everything, and he can give to those he chooses. He can give them wealth, he can give them power, he can give them authority, and it's in God's hands. But don't believe the words of the devil. You know, Porgy and Bess, the devil is singing the things that you read in the Bible that ain't necessarily true. Well, that isn't the gospel. That is a demon of Satan talking, you know, and he's a deceiver. All right, what's next?
That's right. David says, in the last chapter of Malachi, God said, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and terrible day of the Lord. Will he send Elijah the prophet in the last days?
Well, Jesus said that John the Baptist was Elijah. Said, if you'll receive it, he is the one who's to come. He is the Elijah. And so he's already come. And he was John the Baptist. All right.
Okay, Flora writes in, someone asked a question about talking to a loved one who had passed on, and Pat said it was wrong to do so. My husband and I, along with other family members and friends, have conversations with our loved ones, especially at grave sites. Are we all wrong?
Well, it's kind of a symbol. You think you're talking to your loved one, you're over a gravesite. What's in that grave is some skin and bones and a corpse. Mm-hmm. And you're there thinking you're talking to them. Your loved one isn't there. But it makes you feel good to say, well, Charlie, I really blew it today, and I'm so glad that, you know, I loved you when you were here. That's nice. But you start talking to the dead, and you're going to be talking to demons. You're not going to be talking to your loved one. The dead are not allowed to come back and converse with us. And when you think they are, it is a familiar spirit, and it is coming from the devil. Okay.
So it can be therapeutic just to, like, get some things off your chest.
Sure.
But if you actually think you're talking to them, then
Mama, I want you to know I wasn't a very good son, and I'm sorry. And okay.
Okay,
good for you.
Tina says, what does John 9:31 mean? We know God does not hear sinners.
Once again, who said it? Who said it? It was the Pharisees who were trying to put down a man who had been born blind. And he said, Jesus did it. And they said, well, we know that God doesn't hear sinners. Well, in a sense, he does and he doesn't. So, but the question is, who is speaking? Just because it's in the Bible doesn't necessarily mean it is God speaking. They have the devil speaking, and they have, you know, false people speaking, have Job's comforters speaking, and that's a record of what was being said. It doesn't mean it's true.
Yeah, but if Jesus said it.
If Jesus said it, if God said it, it's a totally different thing. Every word that Jesus said is absolutely true. All right.
Okay, some great questions today, all based on scriptures.
All good.
All right.